Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 74. Reflect more, notice more. So what this is really about, this is going to be sort of a neuroscience-focused episode, but it's really not more complicated than reflect more, notice more. I'll go back into more depth after, but reflect is just the single best word I could think of to really describe what's going on here. So this little red area here, this is a human brain, as you might notice. Cool background, sort of a cyber connect thing. But this red area here, which is maybe, I guess about there in the middle, right? It's part of the brain stem. This is, I believe, that's the cerebellum. I can't remember, but that's the top of the brain stem. So anyway, what the RAS, or Reticular Activating System, does is it lets through things into our consciousness that are important to our survival. So a suspicious sound while we're walking through the woods and we hear a crackling or a growling. Okay, our RAS is going to make damn sure that that makes it into our conscious attention. So many things in our environment are intentionally ignored by our brain. And the reason is we only have so much resources. Cognitive attention or conscious attention is resource hungry. So the RAS is one of the main areas responsible for saying, this is important for survival or some other reason, or this is not important, you can ignore it and you can leave that in Tim's or your subconscious, right? So it never reaches the level of conscious awareness. It's always there, like your glasses on your face. You don't feel them all the time, right? Until I mention them. Your wedding ring on your finger, a chain on your neck, this thing here, which is like this is my earphones, right? And it's got a big battery. So I only notice it after I talk about it. Now I feel it again, right? So your RAS is responsible for choosing which things in your environment to ignore and which things to let through to your consciousness. This is when you buy a new car and suddenly you see the same car everywhere. Or you don't buy that new car, you bought a different car instead, and now you're seeing the car you didn't buy. This is your RAS. And the reason it's done this is you, by habitually looking at car magazines or going car shopping, have told your RAS or programmed your RAS, biased your RAS towards paying attention to things that were always in the environment. You're probably not seeing that car any more than before, or yes, you're not seeing it, and that is going into your eyes, but you're now conscious of seeing it. And that's the difference. That's what the RAS does. So when you reflect on something, think on something, and this is happening to me right now with all my, when you're doing daily episodes of videos and you need an episode every day, around 60 some, almost at 66, where I knew I had a specific episode I wanted to do about the average duration to establish a lasting behavior, which averages 66 days. As I came on my 60 something day of doing everyday videos, I was down to only one episode ahead. That is, I had no new ideas. Since that day, now that we're as many as 14 days later, but in the next few days after I had one left, suddenly I got a ton. Like I am about 50 episodes ahead. I have ideas for the next 50 episodes, daily episodes. Why? Well, I started reflecting on paying attention to the fact that I needed more episodes and that it was sort of time to get going on that. And also there's a certain, it's like hitting your second wind, at least in my experience, since I've done this a couple of times where I've done everyday things where I needed creativity. So I paid attention to the fact that I needed it. I didn't push it, but things in the environment, things in what I read, things in what I heard, all things coming from the environment, external from me, I started noticing opportunities and ideas for new episodes. And that's why I'm now 50 ahead. Same with anything else. So if you want to find a romantic partner, if you start reflecting on that, I'm not talking about obsessing on it, but reflecting on it, obviously going to social situations where you can meet people would be good in that case. A number of things you can do, but it's not like desperately seeking. It's just putting yourself in that environment, reflecting on it, thinking about having a relationship or what kind of person you want to meet. Suddenly your RAS will go, well, we'll switch on the notice these qualities in people, or notice people who look like this, who have these interests. So it could even be a coworker at work and you didn't know that they were interested in evolutionary biology. If you have that geeky of an office worker, right? I think evolutionary biology is pretty cool. That's a lot of the neuroscience stuff that I do is around that, cognition. And suddenly you overhear a coworker talking about this topic. They probably talked about that topic before, but your RAS said this is irrelevant to you and didn't let it through. So it's also true about doing, because I am doing a video. So reflect is the mental version. But now let's take that reflect and put it into the real world. Writing down ideas for episodes, in my case. Writing down ideas for your next project at work or solutions. As soon as you start thinking about it, especially thinking about it regularly and daily, you can even do a reflective or problem-solving type of meditation, which I learned by reading. It was actually the Dalai Lama who taught me indirectly, because I read either an article or it was in his book that I read a few years ago now. I can't remember which. But by thinking about reflecting on, also when you're learning new information, right? I put everything in spreadsheets, like everything. So as I'm typing it in, the effortful engagement with the information I'm trying to learn, or the effortful engagement or project or sculpture or song or dance or sharing your ideas with people, doing that on a consistent basis on a single topic, on a single area, is basically telling this part of your brain, this is important. Allow them, you, me, to become conscious of that which is in the environment already, that so far you've ignored. It stayed in the subconscious because it was either irrelevant or non-threatening. It wasn't going to kill you. It wasn't a threat to your survival. At least your RAS thought it wasn't. And it wasn't important to you, so it ignored it. So by reflecting as a single word, but doing anything where you're regularly engaging with, interacting with, rearranging, shaping, anything like that, where you're actually putting conscious attention on a consistent basis towards something, especially if you start to involve physical effort and other things, right? The more different modalities, the more parts of your brain you use, the more likely it'll get the message stronger. Hey, Tim is looking for new ideas for new episodes. Hey, Sam is looking for a new girlfriend. Hey, Sally is looking for opportunities at work to help her get a promotion. And suddenly Sally starts noticing things she's never noticed before, which in most cases were probably always there, but now her RAS is working for her, saying, Sally's on the lookout for new opportunities for promotion. And suddenly you start hearing, noticing, and seeing them. So that's essentially the way this works. If you want to notice more, reflect more, especially on a consistent basis about a specific topic or area that you want to send that memo to your RAS to say, let anything in my environment about this topic through to my consciousness because it's important to me now. That's it. I would love if you liked and subscribed and all that wonderful stuff. Other than that, I would love to hear any comments about things that you've used like this in the past or any results you get from using these exercises. This has been Crush It Club episode 74, Reflect More, Notice More. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.